Alright guys, who broke the robot?
Hello everyone, I'm a broken robot. So I know some of the younger viewers in the audience might not quite get what I'm saying here, but Flash games, man, you just had to be there. Whether you were playing Balloon Tower Defense 2 on cool math games, slaughtering virtual stickmen on addicting games, or just kicking up your feet and playing some Grow Island on Newgrounds, there was never a better time to be broke but a video game enthusiast as the early 2000s. In fact, thanks to Flash and websites like Newgrounds, some games such as Happy Wheels, Papa's Pizzeria, and Super Meat Boy have gone on to have the full AAA treatment with full dev teams and advanced marketing, which can be used to send some of these game titles to the moon in terms of sales. When it comes to Flash games, there's no better example of a game that went from being coded in a basement to being on a dozen different PCs in a high-end office building than that of Super Meat Boy. While this game and its development history has been firmly documented by major media outlets and fellow YouTubers, I've noticed a common trend in most of these reviews. The video essays lack any credit towards the M+ franchise for being the direct inspiration for not only the first Super Meat Boy game, but a whole bunch of other Flash games that went on to get the AAA treatment. That game being none other than N, which was released in 2004 on Newgrounds alongside the first generation of high-quality Flash games. In today's video, we'll discuss the development, gameplay, and just why the M+ franchise is both timeless and has managed to fly below even the most devoted gamers' radars. The M+ franchise started in spring of 2004 when N was uploaded to Newgrounds' list of games as a simple but addictive time-killer platformer. While developers from MetaNet Software Group had planned on delaying the original release date, a combination of budget constraints and deadlines pushed N out of development early, but few noticed. While the original release of N had only a fraction of the levels that are found in the final game released in the franchise, the muted gray color scheme that contrasted with the bright colors of the level hazards was easy on the eyes, and the simple but addictive gameplay was a draw for many early PC gamers who were in an era of gaming where you were obsessed with conquering the most challenging games possible. While N was a smash hit in terms of Flash games, what really helped N reach a wider audience was the multiple game articles written by early video game media companies like Joystick and WoW Insider, who published reviews and articles on N, and in their own words praised the game as not only being firmly in the category of games that were way too good to be on Newgrounds, but a game that needed a sequel immediately. These early internet journalists helped attract traffic to the Newgrounds website and N as a whole, getting it to well over 1 million unique players by 2005. MetaNet Software, emboldened by their success with N, decided to release a polished version of N in late 2005 called N: The Way of the Ninja. This version of N was nearly identical to the original release, but with some minor bug patches and an additional 50 levels that attracted fans to return for the re-release of the game. While N received future patches and some level extensions by both skilled fans and developers in their downtime, it wouldn't be until 2008 when N was re-released once again with HD graphics, much smoother level transitions, improved gameplay controls, and most importantly, over 1,000 new levels ranging in style and difficulty, that the N+ franchise truly came into its own. While N+ has been deemed the sequel to N, many online have noted that N+ was simply a remastered version of N for the Nintendo DS and the PSP. What truly helped N+ was it being released as a demo game on the Xbox 360. While today in 2023 a demo game means one free level followed by a paywall or a dumbed-down over-glorified advertisement for the full release of a game, this was 2008 and AAA companies couldn't get away with nearly as much as they do today. When N+ was added to the Xbox Live Arcade as a free demo, it truly was a glorious thing. Not only did you have access to over 100 levels for free, but split-screen co-op and versus mode were also included for no extra charge. While once completed, you would be prompted with an ad for a $15 downloadable version of the full game, this was a pretty small price to pay for what is virtually a free game. Also, keep in mind that $15 for over 6 hours of gameplay and over 1,300 levels is a far cry from the DLC experience that most modern gamers are hit with today. While it's unclear just how popular N+ was on consoles, when its sequel and the final game in the N+ trilogy was released, it sold over 2 million copies in its first month, which proved that the N+ franchise, despite its simplistic gameplay and lack of innovation, still had a place in the heart of gamers. While N++ was both a critical and financial success, the lead game designer for MetaNet, Reagan Burns, as well as other lead game designers, wanted to use resources and manpower for other projects. Burns also famously stated in 2016 that himself and other developers of the N+ franchise felt that by trying to tread new ground it would only taint the simplicity and charm of N+. but also recognized that the lack of gameplay innovations over the 4 installments in the franchise caused himself and others to feel that the franchise overall was starting to get stale, and that by trying to push out future releases it would only get gamers to resent them. So the producers officially decided to retire the franchise in February of 2016. But anyway, I've talked about the development of the N Plus franchise for far too long. What's the actual story and gameplay like? Well, if you're a fan of fast-paced platformers, then N Plus is right up your alley. N, The Way of the Ninja, N Plus, and N++ all retain the fast-paced platforming and minimalist design of the original Flash game. Players control a ninja character and navigate a series of levels filled with obstacles, enemies, and traps. The goal is to collect gold pieces scattered throughout the levels and reach the exit to progress to the next level. While you complete a level, your ninja character will burn up time that can only be replenished by collecting the glowing gold dots on the screen. While the N Plus franchise has identical controls throughout the entire game series, that doesn't mean that each game's layouts are the exact same. N and N The Way of the Ninja are platform-based, with traps and obstacles being the main thing in your way, with things like mines, sentry turrets, and pitfalls being the most common obstacle. This is a stark contrast to N Plus and N++ that incorporates a mix of both static and mobile obstacles and enemy robot units. Every level can be completed in potentially thousands of different ways, making the game as a whole far more appealing to the competitive crowd than it should be. All games in the franchise feature intricate level designs that require precise timing, skillful movement, and a creative problem-solving attitude to overcome challenges. While levels with mines and tight corridors might require a slower approach, rooms with multiple enemies or static traps might require a fast to-the-point approach. The ninja you play as in all 4 of the games of the franchise can run, jump, wall jump, and interact with objects in the environment to reach their goals. Now, when it comes to the lore and backstory of the N Plus franchise, well, besides some developer art and fan theories, there's almost nothing to go off of. I tried scouring Reddit, 4chan, even frickin' Tumblr, and I couldn't find anything in terms of N Plus lore. From the developer perspective, N Plus was always less about the ninja character, and more about the environment that you must maneuver through. While the lack of story might on paper seem like a reason why some people might dislike N Plus, the multiplayer options make N Plus a viable and fun party game, with up to 4 players in a single game at any point. Multiplayer is a blast because you can either work with or against your friends. Also, if you're playing N Plus or N++, you can use the level creator ability to create fun or downright nightmarish levels that can give you and your friends hours of fun. While in terms of leaving a mark on the industry, N Plus and its respective franchise is often ignored, but myself and a loud minority of fans see the value in the game that started on Newgrounds and was able to work its way up to being partnered with Microsoft. N Plus was not only a trailblazer for game development, but paved the way for other interactive platformers like Super Meat Boy, Celeste, and Alex the Alligator. While N Plus as a franchise stuck to its roots in terms of gameplay, it always managed to make levels feel unique due to radically different types of traps and enemies. If you have some time to kill or just need a simple but fun game to play, the N Plus franchise will be right up your alley. But what do you guys think? Am I just looking at N Plus through rose-colored glasses, or is it truly as nostalgic to Xbox players as I think it is? But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video, or at least learned something new. If you haven't already, please take a moment to like the video because it would really help me out personally in the algorithm. Also, feel free to take a moment to subscribe so that way you don't miss out on my future commentary, reviews, and video essays on whatever topic of the week piques my interest. I hope you all have a great day, go do some jumping jacks, and stay cool.